So I made a post about this on social media the other day, and I've gotten some feedback on it, so I thought I would just do a quick video comparing Filmic Pro to the Cinema P3 camera app. I've been a longtime user of Filmic Pro. I come from a little bit of a film and TV background, and so I love Filmic Pro. The manual control it gives you over all your video settings when you're shooting with your iPhone. But recently they've gone to a new version, added some features, but they've went from a in-app purchase one-time cost model to a subscription model, which is roughly about $50 a year. It's gotten a lot of kind of negative comments in their App Store listing, and in one of those comments someone had recommended this other app called Cinema P3 camera app, and I thought I would give it a try, and I'm actually really liking it, and I think it's probably going to be my new daily driver as far as video recording. So I wanted to just do like a real quick and dirty comparison of the two camera apps and let you kind of see what I see. I would consider myself more of a casual but hands-on video shooter than I'm not really from the cinematography background. I do like having a lot of finer granular controls versus just using the iPhone camera app. But so this is just a casual user's perspective of Filmic Pro versus Cinema P3. All right, first we're going to check out the Filmic Legacy app and just kind of take a brief tour around the app. We have our audio level meters here. We have our zoom rocker, and it's got a nice smooth zoom available on that. We have of course, our start and stop. We have our library. We have our settings. We have our camera selector if your device has more than one camera. We have our kind of status area here. We have our toggles for analytics like zebra patterns and so forth. Our toggle for more manual controls, so we can do like focus and zoom with a rocker like this. Of course, we have the focus area unlock and the exposure area unlock. We also have the imaging area, which has white balance, tone and color and so forth in here, and some status stuff on the side. Now if we go into the menu here, we have our selector for resolution, and one thing I do like in Filmic is having the different selections for aspect ratio. If you want to be a little bit artistic with selecting a more cinematic aspect ratio, we can select our resolution. We can select our bit depth and our Dolby Vision HDR if yours is so equipped, our recording quality, our codec, HDR, etc., frame rate, our capture rate and our playback rate, our audio settings, so we can select the microphone, the codec, the sample rate, and some other selections including gain compensation, some options here from like save to camera roll, and we can do some other settings here like a clean HDMI out image. We can select our stabilization, and it gives you option for dialing that in as you wish. Selecting the camera, of course, turning on the front light of your phone and grid. So, like I said, I don't really use all the real cinematic, fully in-depth features of Filmic Pro, but I do like having the option for, setting my exposure, my focus manually, seeing my recording level, for my microphone, because I do often use external microphones and such, and I just feel like this gives you more control as you're shooting than using the standard iPhone camera app. I'm going to use my dog Emmy here as my test subject. Okay. She's a little bit of an unwilling participant, but we'll get by. Emmy, go to place. Go to place. She's a good girl. All right, so now we're going to check out the Cinema P3 app. Now, you'll notice right away that it definitely feels more professional. For casual users like me, you can still use it in a casual sense, but it just feels more like, if you were shooting with a professional camera on set. You have more of your status indicators here, like your resolution, your bit depth, HDR, your white balance, ISO, so forth. The only thing that I'm not super crazy about so far is the level bars for your audio are a bit more compact than I'd like. I like having the nice beefy audio level bars, especially if I'm doing more of a selfie shot. I like having big bars that I can see from a little bit of a distance away. But it's nice, definitely nice always having those compared to just shooting with the iPhone camera. You could select your camera that you're going to use here. It's nice, you can use this also as basically like a raw still camera app, which is also a nice feature I love on this. And then you get these creative presets. If you hit the creative, you get this little box down here, and this gives you all sorts of kind of preset color grading. You can do different tones of black and white. So it's just nice to be able to kind of do some of this in camera beforehand. If you're just kind of shooting on the fly, you can adjust the saturation. Nice having some nice creative options, and depending on the bit depth, and if you're doing SDR or HDR, some of these will change, but it's nice having a little bit more creative options in camera. One thing that I really love is this level meter that you can toggle on and off. So you can toggle to show not only your kind of tilt sideways angle, but also your up and down angle. Just a nice little handy feature like that. A little toggle for time lapse. I like having that in the options. Of course, your library here. I just have this always set to record to the camera roll. I think this is where all your analysis is, like your zebra patterns and so forth, and your meters and all that. So it's nice having that all in there. And then of course you have your controls here for white balance and exposure and focus, and it does have a nice smooth, let's see, this is your zoom, and then your tools are all here, so you can choose the exposure mode, white balance, focus mode, your video stabilization like Filmic lets you do, local and global tone mapping, video settings, so you can set your format, frame rate, and your bit depth and color space. Did I miss anything in here? You can set on time code, you can set pixel aspect ratio, quality, where you store your video, and even set your file names if you wish. That's a nice feature. Your audio settings, audio level meter, your input microphone, you can have it set to choose your internal microphone automatically, or you can specify. Audio monitoring, gain control. If I toggle the gain control on, it gives you this little button right here. I don't think you can toggle the internal microphones, but if you have an external microphone, you can toggle the gain right there. Go back and set your audio format between AAC and LPCM. Display scopes. So you can have your scopes right on screen and select large or small. Torch is, of course, your front light on your phone. Use your volume to record. Manual focus loop. Let's see, focus. That is an awesome feature. I love, 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 love that feature. I do want to remind you, so they have the standard Cinema P3 app, and then they have more of a Pro Tools upgrade, which I believe is $8.99 one time for all the. When you first get the app, you see like locks on the stuff that is required to pay for with that Pro Tools upgrade. But for $8.99, you get a ton of stuff in here. The tilt sensor, like I mentioned before, anamorphic, distortion correction. I really like this. The zoom, or the camera selection, you can set either 1x or degrees of your focal degrees, or I like this having it in millimeter, like traditional lenses. So 14 millimeter, 27, 66. I just love being able to kind of set that more if you're more into professional shooting. It's nice having those little granular options. Focus peaking, focus presets, zoom speed, so you can set how smooth your zoom is. You can turn off software zoom, which I love. Rotation lock, status indicator, how you want that shown, so you can have that set kind of like they had in Filmic Pro. Display brightness, you can disable screen dimming, which is awesome. You can turn on and off sound effects. Where you position your record photo button, left, right, or center is awesome if you're, a left-handed shooter. Record red border and record pause button and time-lapse button. You can toggle those all on. I'm going to show you here. So if I hit record on this, you can see that it puts a red border around the screen, so I know it's recording. If I'm doing a selfie thing and I can keep an eye on my levels, I can see in red that we're recording. It also turns the countdown timer red, so I can really see that this is going. It gives you nice big generous buttons. I turned on the pause so you can pause the recording. Just all these little awesome options. You can add HDMI out. You can hide the scopes while recording. That's an awesome option. And then you can set video presets. So it was a really kind of rough and dirty comparison of the two apps, but just for my initial observation, having used Filmic for a while and then gone to Cinema P3 Pro, this is just a fantastic app. It doesn't cost an arm and a leg now. Obviously Filmic has the subscription version. This is a one-time $8.99 as of when I'm recording this, to upgrade to all the Pro Tools, and you have just a wealth of tools built into this. This just feels so much more professional than Filmic, and definitely scores more professional than the built-in iPhone camera app. So if you're really wanting to get into the nitty-gritty and get really granular with the settings of your video shooting, and also, like I said, level up your still photography. I mean, there's a ton of options in here too. Like, let's see if I go into, where was that setting? So my camera settings, photo settings. I can select you know, what codec. I can do RAW, I can do ProRAW, select the processed format, live photo. I can set custom EXIF data. Photo bracketing is fantastic. I don't think I've ever done photo bracketing for manual HDR on my iPhone before, but I'm going to really love playing around with this because I love photography. Photo timers, zebras, manual exposure controls, discrete or continuous. I mean, this is just an all-in-one pro-level app that, you know, you can toggle a lot of this stuff on and off if you're not fully comfortable with all the pro settings, or if you are, you can let it all out there and you know, have at it. So I hope this really quick and dirty comparison of the two was helpful to you. For me, camera P3 all the way. I'm really not looking back at Filmic at all. I'm ready to make the change, and after this, I think you might be too. So let me know what you think in comments. Like and subscribe for more videos like this in the future, and thanks for watching.